City. Sean Diddy Combs has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison on 2 counts of prostitution. Good afternoon. This is the KTLA 5 News at 4. I'm Samantha Cortese.
And I'm John Finolio. Combs was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months behind bars for 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. The
judge handing down the sentence after the disgraced music mogul addressed the court, arguing he's a changed man. To KTLA's Lindsay Pena, who's been following this breaking news. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Sam and John. Yeah, Combs reportedly breaking down in court today, asking the judge for mercy and his freedom. He told the court his actions were, quote, disgusting, shameful, and sick. But the judge making it clear, even before revealing his decision, that sentence would be substantial to send a message to victims of abuse that these types of crimes will be taken seriously. With cameras not allowed in the federal courtroom Friday, sketches were the only glimpse of what played out inside the much-anticipated sentencing of Diddy. Combs ultimately sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison and a fine of $500,000. The judge saying the lengthy sentence was needed for deterrence, and he was unconvinced that if Combs is released, these crimes won't happen again. The sentence came just minutes after Combs addressed the court himself, saying, quote, "I've been humbled and broken to my core." Afterwards, attorney Gloria Allred, who represents some of the victims in the case, speaking outside the courtroom.
Many of my clients who allege they were victims of Mr. Combs were very afraid that he would get out either today or in a couple of months, and they were afraid that he would retaliate against them.
The sentencing came after an hours-long hearing. The prosecution starting the day asking the judge to sentence him to more than 11 years for the 2 prostitution-related counts he was convicted of back in July. He was acquitted of the more serious sex trafficking and racketeering charges. The defense, on the other hand, asking that Diddy be sentenced to no more than 14 months, including time served. He's been in jail since his September 2024 arrests. Prosecutors arguing that the public should be protected from Combs, who hasn't shown remorse for his actions and continues law. They revealed that Diddy booked speaking engagement for next week in Miami, saying, quote, "That's the height of hubris, Your Honor." The defense countering, saying that the crimes Combs was convicted of don't warrant such a lengthy sentence. His behavior, they say, stemmed from untreated trauma and a serious drug addiction, and claim Combs is now sober for the first time in more than 2 decades. Several of Combs' children addressed the court, asking the judge to let him out and give their father a second chance. KTLA's Jasmine Simpkins in court for the hearing.
It got more and more emotional as each one of them got up to speak. By the time the girls began speaking, both Jesse, Delilah, and Chance, they were fully into his attorney gave him tissue. He had his head in his hand.
Also, a mitigation video played highlighting his accomplishments and testimonials from those close to him. Combs asked the court for mercy and apologized to the victims and all victims of domestic violence before the judge handed down his sentence. Afterwards, saying, quote, "Mr. Combs, I know you feel you are in a dark place right now, but these crimes were serious ones. You and your family are going to get through this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel." As he left the courtroom, Combs reportedly to his family, saying, "I'm sorry, I love you." Some legal experts say it's typical with a federal sentence like this to expect that Combs will serve about 85% of the time. He also gets credit for time served, which means he's likely to only spend about 2 more years behind bars. That's the latest from the newsroom. Lindsay Pena, KTLA 5 News. John and Sam.
Lindsay, thank you. There is breaking news now out of the proposal, but with conditions. The militant group also said to release the Israeli hostage in Gaza and the bodies of those who've died, but only if certain conditions were met. It did not say what those conditions are. Hamas also said it still needed to discuss Israel's withdrawal from the enclave. The militant group did not answer Israel's demand that the group give up its weapons.
Chevron has launched an internal investigation into the cause of a massive fire at the refinery in El Segundo last night. The fire could be seen for miles, but crews got the upper hand early this morning. Shelter-in-place orders have been lifted for a neighborhood near the refinery.
Today, Chevron, everyone is accounted for and injuries were reported. KTLA's Sandra Mitchell is live in Manhattan Beach with the latest on the impacts of this fire. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Sam. Yeah, Chevron is saying no injuries. Already an employee who's He was there last, knocked to the ground, suffered physical injuries, has filed a $1 million lawsuit. Today, people are out and about in this neighborhood, but there are concerns for people who live in this area. An explosion and eruption of flames.
It was kind of like a bomb to me. It was a very sudden shock, not a earthquake type feel. The bomb had gone off somewhere.
Today, at the El Segundo Chevron plant is contained but not extinguished.
All I could see through the windows were flames. So I thought for sure then the refinery, something had happened.
The huge fire started Thursday night. Today, crews are letting it burn itself out, but there are real concerns about the environmental and economic impacts, including VOCs or chemicals that could affect air quality.
We saw a small spike in VOCs about 11 p.m., right when the fire was at its hottest, but even that was about half the limit of the safe line.
The fire contained one area of the refinery, but the smoke and the smell drifted over nearby South Bay communities. People in the immediate area are being urged to stay inside. And Los Angeles water there's concern about settling into water sources. And if the Chevron plant goes and stays offline for an extended period of time, local gas prices could spike up to 25 cents almost immediately, and more than $1 a gallon in the coming weeks. Critics blame Governor Newsom for not imposing stricter regulations on refineries.
That foot drag by the Newsom administration is really going to bite us in the at the pump if they're online within a week or two.
Late this afternoon, Governor Newsom said he had been briefed on the situation. He's unsure if West Coast's largest producing refinery would affect gas prices.
The longer term impacts to return.
So the have its own. They already launched internal investigation of what's fire. KTLA5, back to you.
Andrew, thank you. Day 3 of the government shutdown. The U.S. Senate to pass a bill to fund the government today. Remain heading to the week. Democratic and of health care credit. They are our life and issue millions of Americans. Meanwhile, Republicans insist Democrats reopen the government negotiating health care in an increased pressure on the Senate. House Speaker Mike Johnson canceled plans of House Representatives return last week. The move from bearing in Representative Adelita Grijalva and effectively halts the release of the Epstein files. Both sides are pointing fingers.
It's a Democrat shutdown, plain and simple.
It's day 3 of the Trump Republican government shutdown.
It's the Democrats who have forced the White House and the president into this position.
The government remains closed because Donald Republicans insist on raising Medicare premiums.
As the House of Representatives is scheduled to Washington until October 14th.
The pilot of a stunt helicopter performs a backflip as he greets the crowd at the Pacific Air Show. This spectacular annual event took flight in Huntington Beach this morning for 3 days of air acrobatics. But some favorites like the U.S. Navy Thunderbirds won't be participating this year because of the government shutdown. That was a disappointment to some fans, but they say they'll have fun anyway.
Yeah, it'd be still a great show, but to do what they did to the public, they have no care about the public. The politicians are, I think they're in a bubble in Washington. How about all the people that flew in and drove in? For all these hotels are full. They're paying $700, $800 a day, and there's no Thunderbird.
When you come that far from home to see an air show and it's canceled, well, what do you do?
Instead of U.S. military jets, some international teams will be featured. Canada's Snowbirds and the UK's Royal Air Force will be making their debut. The show runs through. Tickets can be purchased at pacificairshow.com.
The Westfield Century City Mall celebrating the of the life of the mall is hosted fan activity That's October events. Sorry, that's what it said. Party and even night with the theme Life of the Girl. All those events are listed at KTLADT.com. As for the album, it's breaking records today. The single day Spotify stream of this year. John's already listened through.
Absolutely. Okay. We've got more coming up on the news at 4.
Kai Goldberg has your